Welcome back. This is Finnegans Wake Part 3. Attempting to tell what the wake is about in 25 words, no more, no less, I offer the following. By I mean the book I'm reading here. Finnegans Wake is a comic, cosmic, multilingual, dream-encased epic of the cyclical fall and resurrection of humanity, encompassing everything that was, is, and will be. To comment on this unique creation with the Wake's own words, now you're going to have to follow me here because these are words that he created pretty much. No birdie, AVR, soar any wing to eagle it. So no birdie, bird in the middle of nobody. AVR, like aviary, but made to sound like ever. Soar, so ever saw. Any wing to eagle it, to equal it, right? So all bird words all the way through, saying nobody ever saw anything to equal it. So that's a sample of what it's going to be like when we start jumping into the actual book. Okay, now let's talk about when. Answering when the action of Finnegans Wake takes place is easy, at all times, at the same time. Beginning with past Eve and Adam's, the legendary start of human history, in the Wake's first sentence, right through prognostications for the future, many of which have already been proven true, all time is accounted for. And it doesn't follow the typical temporal succession trail that time is accustomed to follow. It fluctuates like the tides, and even broader in scope, everything seems to happen at once. Since time in Finnegans Wake is represented by the river as it flows through the land shape, it's perfectly normal to picture passengers afloat in a dream lifeboat, traveling downstream where events are viewed in sequential order. And by assuming a position high enough, a bird's eye view, if you will, to see the river entire, from source to mouth, then everything is happening at once. As Joyce explained it, there is no past, no future. Everything flows in an eternal present. Now that's interesting when you think about things theologically, because arguably that's the way God sees things, as everything at once, and we flowing down the river see things sequentially as we travel through it, but he sees the whole river at one time. I actually just explained the same concept in my time travel book that I'm writing right now, so very similarly. I didn't use a river, I used another metaphor, but it's interesting that it follows the same pattern. Therefore, there should be no surprise to find the trusty knight Sir Tristram, Tom Sawyer, St. Patrick, Jonathan Swift, Napoleon, the Duke of Wellington, and the Old Testament's Isaac, among others, sharing the same sentence on the Wake's first page. So on the very first page, he jumps right into sharing all these people in one sentence. If time is defined as that which keeps everything from happening at once. Now think about just that phrase. If time is defined as that which keeps everything from happening at once, then it's evident that time is non-existent in Finnegans Wake. The best answer to when the wake takes place is whenever. Okay, so that was when. Now we talk about where. Answering where the action of Finnegans Wake takes place is as easy as answering when it takes place. Everywhere. Standing in for everywhere is the city of Dublin, capital of Ireland. It provides the setting for almost all of Joyce's work, from the short stories of Dubliners, right through the two novels, A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man and Ulysses. As Joyce said, I always write about Dublin, because if I can get to the heart of Dublin, I can get to the heart of all the cities of the world. Asked if he might return to the land of birth one day, this self-exiled author replied, "Have I ever left it?" Then he added, "When I die, Dublin will be found engraved upon my heart." Though much of the action of the Wake is centered in and around Dublin, the book maintains a worldwide focus, with all historical periods and places competing for prominence. On the first page alone, in addition to Dublin, Ireland, there's America's Dublin, Georgia, with its motto, doubling all the time. So Dublin all the time, right? The Garden of Eden, North Armorica, or ancient Brittany on the French coast, Napoleon and Wellington's Peninsular War in Spain, the Crimean War on the Crimean Peninsula, and Mount Ararat, where Noah's Ark came to rest after the flood. A book about everything, even if it is made out of nothing, still takes place everywhere. Who is the book about? As to who the characters are in Finnegans Wake, the answer by now should be obvious. Everyone. The hero, if Finnegans Wake can be said to have a hero, is a man called Humphrey Chimpton Earwicker, whose initials, HCE, are ubiquitous. So you find those initials throughout the entire book, not just referring to him, but referring to many things. The most famous of these manifestations is Here Comes Everybody, right? So Here Comes Everybody, HCE. That kind of shows you what Joyce is writing here. It's talking about every man, is another way of saying it. And it's appropriate since he takes on most of the male roles in the Wake, becoming more mob than man. He first appears in the first sentence of the first page as Howth Castle and Environs, HCE, Howth Castle and Environs, and continues on as Haveth Childers Everywhere, Here Now Chuck English, and Heinz Cans Everywhere, as a few of the many examples. Finding Earwicker's embedded initials as one reads is part of the fun, a sort of Where's Waldo for the literary set. I'll finish the chapter on who, and then I'll end this video and go on to the next. HCE is also the legendary giant Finn McCool, whose head is the promontory of Howth, his body the city of Dublin, and his tumty-tum toes poking up well to the west in Phoenix Park. At times he becomes Mr. Porter, a name appropriate to his role as a Dublin pub keeper. He is so many different male members of the cast that it's difficult to, in the Wake's words, identifying the individual one. This is what it's going to be like when I start reading the book. Identifying the individual one. Okay. HCE's partner in plot is his lovely wife, Anna Livia Plurabelle, whose initials, ALP, appear as often or more than her husband's. She appears as Dublin's river Liffey flowing past her sleeping partner. Her plurality of appearances flow in a steady stream. All ladies please, ALP. Anna Lynchia Pourable, and in a double dose, arraigned and attained, listed and lighted, pleaded and proved, so AALLPP. As all women, ALP is the plural belle of the ball with protean personalities. As husband and wife, the couple are parents of twin sons Shem and Sean and young daughter Isabel. Ancient links with presence in as the human chain extends, or ALP and HCE. Did you follow that one? Ancient links with presence, ALP, as the human chain extends, HCE, right? So all kinds of wordplay here. The boys are as different as Night and Day, or Finnegans Wake and Ulysses. Night and Day, because Finnegans Wake is about nighttime and Ulysses is about daytime. Ulysses, by the way, is a gigantic book written entirely about the events of one day. And battle their way through the book, representing all rivals, beginning with Jacob and Esau on the first page. They are the yin and yang, opposites that must combine to become whole. And Issy, the sister Isabel, is a young Alp, ALP, whose showers feed the streams that form the Liffey and who is more knowing than her young years. Together this family imbroglio under one umbrella represents all of human society, continuously merging and mingling and reassembling. As Wake scholar Adeline Glasheen has famously written, who is who when everybody is somebody else? Or as the Wake admits, often we don't know who's who. So we don't know who's who, but we don't know whose, WHOSE, so belonging to whom. We don't know whose hue, HUE, so their colors intermingle with one another, right? So just a taste of what's to come. Okay, that takes us to why, so I'll do why in the next video.